Hey there, New Wavers! March is Women's History Month, and on today's show, I'm going to talk about an iconic 1980s photo that features 6 amazing women. I'm New Wave Joe, and this is my show.
Some people think little girls should be seen and not heard, but I think, oh, bondage! Up yours!
This iconic photo has been floating around social media for a while now, and I wanted to find out where, when, and why it was taken. After doing some research, I was able to track down some pretty interesting information about the photo. The picture was taken in August of 1980 and was part of a larger photo shoot for the cover of New Music News, a news magazine popular in the 1980s. From what I can tell, the music magazine no longer exists. The photojournalist Michael Putlin, who took the picture, is notably known today for his extensive archive of photographs of all kinds of musicians. Putlin later named the shoot Ladies' Tea Party as part of his archive series. The shoot was held at a hotel located in Knightsbridge, a residential and retail district in central London, just south of Hyde Park. The photo depicts 6 prominent female musicians considered key figures in the 1970s and 80s new wave, post-punk, and punk music scenes. The top row of the picture features Debbie Harry of Blondie, Viv Albertine of the Slits, and Susie Sue of Susie and the Banshees. The bottom row consists of Pauline Black of The Selector, Polly Styrene of X-Ray Specs, and Chrissie Hynde of The Pretenders. These pictures were taken just as the punk scene of the 1970s and 80s was starting to take shape. The early punk movement provided a framework where women could participate musically in ways they were prevented from doing in more mainstream rock and heavy metal scenes. Despite this, Pauline Black claims the male editors of the magazine didn't think a cover of just one of these women would sell.
Traditionally, male editors of music journals thought that a cover shot of a lone female artist wouldn't sell enough of their papers, so they tended to do a roundup of prominent female musicians of the day and put them on the cover bearing a catch-all "Women in Rock" slogan.
At the time, all 6 women were trailblazers in their own unique way. However, they were also following in the footsteps of other strong female musicians who had already begun to pave the way. Women like rock and roll pioneer Suzi Quatro, Queen of Rock and Roll Tina Turner, and the godmother of rock and roll, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, who was one of the first gospel musicians to appeal to both rhythm and blues and rock and roll audiences. As for the women in this picture, all but one continue to do amazing things in the music and entertainment world today. 78-year-old Debbie Harry still performs with her band Blondie at venues around the world. I'm actually seeing them again this summer at the Cruel World Music Festival on May 11th. Over the years, Debbie has appeared in 26 films, worked with all kinds of musical artists like Iggy Pop, Cole Porter, and even Fall Out Boy, and published a memoir, Face It, in 2019. 69-year-old Viv Albertine continued to play guitar with the Slits until 1982, when the band broke up. After the split, she played guitar for a number of dub reggae outfits and worked as a freelance director for the BBC and British Film Institute, making promos and videos for the UK's version of MTV throughout most of the 80s and 90s. In 2009, she began performing as a solo artist, but decided to step away from music in 2014. That same year, she wrote the memoir, Close, 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 Music, 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 Boys, 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 and in 2018 followed it up with a second memoir entitled To Throw Away Unopened. One of my favorites, 66-year-old Susie Sue, returned to the stage in 2023 to headline 2 large music festivals, the Cruel World Festival in Pasadena, California, and the Release Athens Festival in Athens, Greece. Over the years, Susie has collaborated with tons of other artists and launched a short-lived but well-received solo music career. Considered the godmother of goth, She's influenced hundreds of female and male artists, and from what I've heard, she may be embarking on a 2024-25 world tour. Fingers crossed. 70-year-old Pauline Black continues to play with the Selecter and will be performing this summer at the No Values Music Festival in California on June 8th. In addition to music, Pauline has an impressive acting career, appearing in such dramas as The Vice, Hearts and Minds, and the series 24. She also released a memoir, Black by Design, in 2010. 72-year-old Christy Hine continues to tour worldwide with her band, The Pretenders. The band just released a new album, Relentless, and plan to embark on a worldwide tour this September, once Chrissy's knee injury heals. Over the years, Chrissy has worked with all kinds of musicians, from Sheryl Crow to the Black Keys to Morrissey. She also published an autobiography entitled Reckless, My Life as a Pretender, in 2015. As I mentioned earlier, 5 out of the 6 women in the picture are still doing amazing things. Sadly, the 6th, Poly Styrene, is no longer with us. Described by Billboard magazine as the archetype for the modern-day feminist punk, Polly's unique fashion and musical styles made her one of the least conventional frontpersons in rock history. X-Ray Spex 1977 single Oh Bondage Up Yours, which I featured at the beginning of the show, is considered a Riot Grrrl anthem and is one of the most highly acclaimed classic punk songs ever released. When X-Ray Spex broke up in 1979, Polly decided to go solo. However, her solo career was intermittent in nature, spanning years between each record release. Contributing factors to this include bipolar disorder, which she was diagnosed with in 1991, and an accident in which she fractured her pelvis after being knocked down by a fire truck in 1995. Polly released 3 critically acclaimed LPs and 1 EP. On April 25, 2011, Polly lost her fight with cancer, and we lost an amazingly talented woman who helped change the face of music today. I hope you enjoy learning more about this iconic photo that has been floating around social media for the past few years. I think it's safe to say that all the women in this photo helped open doors that may have otherwise remained closed to female musicians. Before you go, please like this video and subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments what pioneering female musician is your favorite.